Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. If you're new, I'm Kelly. This is KBellaBeauty, and it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but I am back with another Test It Out Tuesday video for you guys. And if you are new to my channel or new to my Test It Out Tuesday series, this is going to be a first impression. We are trying out the Natasha Denona Mini Sunset Eyeshadow Palette. I have not tried it out before today, so this is going to be a first impression. And then if you subscribe to my channel and stay tuned in a couple months, I will update you on this bad boy here and on my final thoughts. So before we get into me trying out these eyeshadows on my eyes, I do want to let you know a little bit about this palette, and I will insert some swatches. So this palette here is $25. I got it at Sephora, and I did get it during the VIB sale, so I did save a little bit of money. However, I don't think $25 for 5 eyeshadows is that bad. You're spending $5 a pan. However, I know that Natasha Denona's eyeshadow palettes are normally on the very pricey side. They're normally like $100 or something like that. So when I saw that she was coming out with a mini, I definitely knew that I wanted to get my hands on it and I wanted to try it out. And these are the shades that I'm drawn to. Now this palette is very tiny, as you can see. It fits into the palm of my hand, but I don't mind that because I think that this would be a palette that I could travel with and it would be easy to create some looks with this palette. Now the packaging does seem kind of cheap to me. It's just plastic packaging. It does have a clear top when you close it, and then, you know, it just kind of opens up. It doesn't bend back, it just opens like this. So, I mean, it's not like she spent a lot of money on packaging here. I know her packaging, I feel like, is normally a little bit better. She has like super cute covers, but I don't mind if cheaper packaging is why we get a cheaper price. I'm all about that. So let me give you guys some swatches. I'm not 100% sure on the names because if you see the way the names are here, like I don't know if this is Halo or this is Guava, but in my mind it makes more sense for this to be Guava and this to be Halo. So I'm gonna do my best to do some swatches for you. So this is Guava, Apollo, and excuse my gross nails, Dirty Mars, and Sunbeam right here. So this was Guava. This was Apollo. Then I have Dirty Mars and Sunbeam. And then we have one more shade here, the shade Halo, which is this pretty like champagne gold. So you have a deeper gold in Sunbeam, and then you have this lighter champagne gold in Halo. You do have a nice transition shade with Guava, and then you can deepen it up with Dirty Mars, and they throw a little splash of cranberry in here for you, which I think is really, really creative. Now that you've seen some swatches and heard a little bit about this palette, let's go ahead into my first impression tutorial where I create this eye look for you. I'll leave some timestamps down below in case you're just here for the tutorial, or if you don't care about the tutorial but you want to hear my first impressions afterwards, that will all be listed down below. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I did already prime and set my eyeshadow primer. I used my Urban Decay Eden eyeshadow primer potion, and then just any kind of shadow that's close to your skin tone, you can use that to set your eyeshadow primer. And the reason why I did that is because there's not really a shade in this palette here that I could use to set all over the lid to set my eyeshadow primer, but I like to do that because it's easier to blend. So here is my game plan. These are the shadows here, and I'm guessing if I try to figure out, I'm trying to figure out how to read the names, because if you can see here, the names from left to right, I'm not sure if this is Halo or if it's Guava, but I'm guessing this is gonna be Guava. Is that supposed to be Apollo and my L is ripped off? Dirty Mars, Sunbeam, and Halo. So I'm going to use each one of these shades. My plan of attack here is to use this in the crease all over, this to deepen up the crease. I think I'm going to go in with this guy on the lid, this in my inner corner and lower lash line. So let's start. I'm going to use a fluffy tapered blending E40 by Sigma, and like I said, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which I think is Guava, and so far when I'm tapping, I'm getting enough pigment, but I'm not really having any fallout, which is good. Now I can't compare this to other Natasha Denona eyeshadows just because I've never tried them before, but I can give you my opinion on this one. However, if you do want to know how this compares to other Natasha Denona eyeshadows, I will link my friend Mariela's review of this palette down below, because she does have other Natasha Denona eyeshadows and she did do a review on this palette. So you can watch that and get a review and comparison on some other shadows. But for me, this is just going to be a first impression on what I think without ever having touched an eyeshadow from Natasha Denona before. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here, Dirty Mars, and I'm going in with my Morphe Y19. It's a blending brush, but it's a little bit tapered at the top, and I'm going to take that shade and put it right in the crease, but kind of like the outer V of the crease. I probably won't take it like all the way in. I want it to be concentrated just right on this outer portion. And so far, on first impression of blendability, these eyeshadows are blendable. They're blending fine, but I wouldn't say that these are the most blendable eyeshadows that I've ever tried. There have been eyeshadows that I feel like I haven't had to work as much with. I kind of feel like once I put this in the spot that I want it, I do have to take some time to blend it. So I wouldn't say this is like the most blendable eyeshadow ever that I've tried, but it is blending pretty nicely. So one issue that I'm having with this eye now, I do want to throw it out there that my left eye, for whatever reason, is easier for me to apply makeup on. My right eye, not so much. Now I didn't have a problem with my left eye, but I don't know if you guys can tell, with my right eye, I almost like have a gap of shadow in the crease where I'm trying to get that Dirty Mars shade. I have it on the outer V and I have it concentrated right above the crease, but I'm trying to get the eyeshadow right here in the crease, and I'm having a hard time doing that. I feel like it's a little bit patchy there. But again, like I said, I don't know if you can tell, I didn't have a problem on my left side, it's just on my right side. So that could be user error, but I just wanted to throw that out there. For the lid, actually what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which I don't know if it's Apollo or Sunbeam. I think it's Sunbeam though. That makes more sense because otherwise this would be Sunbeam. That doesn't really make sense. So I'm gonna go in with this guy, but I'm gonna use my finger and I think I'm gonna put it just on like the middle part of my eye, because this shade right here, which I think is Halo, I want to put on the inner corner and then the inner part of the lid. So I'm just going to take my finger and kind of just press it in right in the middle of my eye. And I will work on blending later. Right now I just want to get that shadow on there. It's really pigmented with my finger. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which I think is Halo, and my Real Techniques. I think this is the tiny accent brush, and I'm going to go first without Fix Plus, and then I might spritz some Fix Plus, but I'm going to put it right on this inner part and on the inner corner. So I'm going to start first without any Fix Plus and see how pigmented it is. I would prefer to do it with my finger, honestly, but I feel like it might be a little difficult to do so. Let me try. Let me go in with my pinky. I mean, I might be able to like deposit it with my pinky and then go in with a brush. That's without Fix Plus. Now I have spritzed some Fix Plus and maybe a little bit more pigmented, but I don't think that there's like a huge difference, honestly. Then to do a little blending, I'm just gonna get a touch of the Dirty Mars brown shade and just kind of put it on the outer V to blend like that gold, what was it? Sunbeam in with the brown. And then same thing over here, get a touch of that brown and blend it. So I'm gonna go in with this Morphe Y21. It's one of those like flat liner brushes, and this shade right here, which I think is Apollo because that makes more sense than Sunbeam. And I'm going to just press it. Let me hold my mirror a little bit closer here. I'm gonna press it into the lower lash line. And there you have it. That's what it looks like so far. I'm gonna jump off camera real quick, finish up the eyes. I might pick a lip color with you. I might try a couple lip colors with you, and then I'll let you know my first impression. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what this eye look would look like with 4 different lip colors. So I am gonna go in with 1993 from Urban Decay, which is a brown. I'm gonna go in with a red Too Faced Lady Balls. I'm gonna go in with a mauve Ofra Duchess, which is a deeper mauve, and then a nude. And I'm gonna go in with KYLIE's, what is this, Naked, her Velvet Liquid Lipstick. That way you can see what this eye look would look like with different lip colors. Okay, so now that you've seen some lip options that you could wear with this eye look, I want to give you like my final first impression on this Natasha Denona Mini Sunset Eyeshadow Palette. First of all, these are my shades, okay? So if these are not your type of shades, if you don't like golds and cranberries, warm tone shades, stay away from this palette. But these are my shades. These are the kinds of eyeshadow palettes that I'm drawn to, and these are the kinds of looks that I like to create on a day-to-day basis. I like that you can make this more of a light everyday look. You could throw this in the crease, deepen it a little bit with the brown and go in with the light champagne gold, or I could have even gone in with this deeper gold all over the lid and made it a little bit more smoky. You also have a cranberry shade if you want like a little pop of color. If you want to go even smokier, you could put the cranberry on the lid, smoke it out, or deepen it with this brown shade. So you do have some options, but overall, you're gonna kind of get the same looks, or looks that are in the same color family, I guess I should say. They're all gonna be pretty warm. They're gonna have some like gold, bronzy shades to them, just because those are the eyeshadows that are in this palette. But I like that about this palette because I like these kinds of shades. Now pigmentation, I feel like it had really good pigmentation. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I wouldn't say that it's the most pigmented eyeshadow that I've tried, but it did have really good pigmentation. The blendability, same. I'd say it was average. If you're a beginner and you just want to throw some eyeshadow on and not really have to work too hard at blending it, I don't think that this palette gives you that. I did have to work on blending a little bit. Not anything outrageous. I'd say it was an average blendability, and I didn't really have too many issues. I did have one hiccup on my right eye, which is not my best eye when it comes to applying eyeshadow, where I felt like I had a hard time depositing this brown shade right in the crease. But that was really my only hiccup. I don't have any harsh lines. I was able to blend everything out nicely, and I was able to smoke this cranberry shade on the lid, or I didn't really smoke it out, but press it into the lower lash line, and so I didn't really have any problems there. Now, I did say before, I don't have any other Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes to compare this to, but I do like this palette. It's small, it's good to travel with. However, I feel like if I did travel with this, I would maybe need 2 single eyeshadows to bring with me, something to set my eyeshadow primer. And then I didn't highlight my brow bone, but if you wanted a shade to highlight your brow bone, I wouldn't really want to do it with this shade. I would want something a little bit lighter. So those would maybe be the 2 single eyeshadows that I would need to bring with me if I was traveling with this palette. Now, it's $25. I feel like $25 is a fair price. I did really enjoy this eyeshadow palette. I did like the look that I came up with. Does this make me want to go out and purchase more Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes? No. I'm glad that this was only $25, meaning that I spent $5 per eyeshadow shade. I did show a comparison of this palette with an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette in my Sephora VIB sale haul, but I'll show you again. I do not have a problem with the size of the pans because these are the same size that you would get in an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette, but this one does come with, I think it was 0.1 gram more than the Anastasia. The Anastasia has 0.07 grams per eyeshadow, and I do believe, if I'm remembering correctly, it doesn't say it on the back of this, but I'm pretty sure on the packaging it said that there was 0.8 grams in this one. So you do get a little bit more per pan than you would get in an Anastasia Beverly Hills. But like I said, I don't mind that it's small. I don't typically pan eyeshadows, so that's not something that's important to me. So I don't mind the size of this. I don't mind that it was $25. I think that's a fair price, and I don't regret this purchase. Is it an eyeshadow palette that I will reach for? Yeah, I like these colors. I'm going to reach for them. Is it something that I think is going to be a holy grail that I have a hard time pulling myself away from? No. It's a good eyeshadow palette. I am really glad that I got it. I think $25 was a fair price, but I don't want to spend $100 and get a larger Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette. This didn't really suck me in that way, although I have heard people say that this formula is a little bit different than her other palettes. Again, I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I do really like this eyeshadow palette. If these are your tones and you don't mind spending $25, then I would say go ahead and get it. I got this during the VIB sale, so if you wanted to wait for November, there will be another VIB sale and you can pick this up. But if these aren't your shades, or if you don't really want to spend $25, you don't think you would get much use out of this, then I would say pass on this eyeshadow palette, because it is nice, it is a good palette, but it's not something that I would say is a must-have, if that makes sense. But that is going to do it for this video, for this Tested Out Tuesday. That's my first impression. I'm going to keep using it, and if you're new to my Tested Out Tuesday series, I will do a Tested Out Tuesday with a couple more products, and then I'll have a follow-up in a couple months letting you know my final thoughts and review on each of these products. If you want to see more looks, if you would want me to maybe do a 3-in-1 tutorial on this eyeshadow palette, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed before you go. I do post twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, but I am trying to get a third video up. If you watched my Ulta and Sephora haul, then you know that I had some stuff going on and I had to take a break from social media, but I am getting 2 videos up a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, although this one, I did swap this Tested Out Tuesday for my Wednesday video, so I won't have a video up tomorrow, but hopefully this summer I can get back to 3 videos a week and have a bonus video for you on Mondays or Tuesdays. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!